Alright, this video is going to be about replacing the fuel lines on this Weed Eater Featherlight Weed Whacker. Problem that it has is one of the fuel lines snapped off and the other one's really brittle. See right there where I tried to put a screwdriver on it to get it off, and it just started to come apart. Now on the inside here, not sure if you can see down in there, but there's the filter and a check valve down in there, so it's really rotten from the inside out. Okay, to get this off, all I did was take this back panel off here, and it has 5 screws, 4 there and 1 up near where the spark plug goes, and this comes off and the fuel tank is mounted to it right there from the back side. So these are the bolts from that. It has hat bushings on there to give it extra strength, I guess, for where it mounts. You can see this where it broke off right there too. So later on today, I'm going to be putting new fuel line on this. I have the new fuel line. I went to Ace Hardware, and they sell this fuel line. I forget what this is called. What this kind of fuel line is called. It's if I think about it, I'll let you know. But it's it holds up real well. I've used this same fuel line on. I have a Craftsman chain, so I had to do the same thing too because the internal fuel lines broke off on it, and it holds up for years versus other fuel line that I've had that just gets real brittle like this and breaks. So you might want to look into that. As soon as I think of the name, I'll let you know. But until I get into this, I'll take more video of it then. Alright, I'm back. I cleaned up this fuel tank for the Weed Eater, and this is what I got out of the inside of it. Got a filter, which it was pretty dirty. It was all brown on the outside of here. What I did to clean it up, because I don't want to, I could have bought a new one, but I didn't. I kind of want to get this back together, so I took alcohol and sprayed it through the middle, and it cleaned up the filter really nice. So it looks good again. And then you got a little, just a little nipple. Doesn't actually connect to anything. And I found this, which is a one-way valve, and I believe this came out of the middle of this cap right here. It looks like it has, it's a breather vent. It's a vent for the breather for the gas. So I'm going to end up putting that right back down in there. I'll have to get a screwdriver or something to push it back down in. But that was just laying in the fuel tank, and that's not where it should be. But you can see that. That's how it's supposed to look. So this is back together now, and now it is time to put the fuel lines in. I got Tygon hose. I know in the piece of the video prior to this, I talked about how I got this Tygon hose at Ace. Well, I got this at Ace Hardware, and I didn't realize there was 2 different sizes, so I ordered this hose off of eBay, and it is also supposed to be Tygon, but I think I got screwed. As you can tell, it's completely different colors, completely different feel, but it's the right size that I'm looking for, so it'll still work. I'm not that worried about it if I have to replace this line again. This whole process doesn't take that long, and I bought 5 feet of it, so I have a lot of extra, so I'm not too worried about that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out with this larger hose, and I am going to cut it at an angle so then I can stuff it down into the larger hose, or larger hole, and just twist it as I'm going down in there so it goes down in, and it makes a real good seal. Some needle nose pliers, grab onto it, pull it out here. This hose is just a pressure hose from the carburetor. The carburetor will put air pressure into this tank and pressurize it to create not a siphon, but it'll push the gas up through this hose to keep the fuel going to the carburetor. So it kind of acts like a fuel pump by pressurizing this, and by not having this check valve here, that could have been one of the reasons why it wasn't running right. This part goes on this hose, so I'm just going to go ahead and push that on as far as I can, which, there we go. Let's see, it's on there the whole way. And then in the tank, this hose just comes down right above that. It only goes into the tank about a quarter of an inch. There you go. It only goes into the tank a quarter of an inch. Doesn't have to go in far. And I don't have the weed whacker here with me right now, so I am going to leave myself an ample amount of hose, which I believe this will be. I know this will be more than enough. I'm just going to cut that off there. So that's that larger hose. Now I'm going to use some of this smaller hose to put the fuel filter on. And this is cut at an angle. And this is also a nice tight fit, which is what you want. I've done this before and I used the wrong size hose, and it wasn't as tight of a fit as it needed to be, and it leaked gas all over the place. Now that was on an old weed whacker that I don't have anymore. Me and World's Okayest Farmer were cutting down some weeds in the middle of one of little sweet corn patch that we had last year, and I was using that weed whacker, and I don't know what happened, but the head came off of it, the cutting head came off of it, and I never found it again. We plowed the garden this year, and I never ended up finding it, so that weed whacker's now in the trash. It's going to be a challenge to get this on here, this fuel filter is a little bit bigger than this hose, so I'm going to try to. Okay, I'm back. Got some smaller pliers, so these pliers should fit right in the end of this. I'll show you what I'm doing here, and I'm just going to take them and open them up a little bit to stretch this so I can get the fuel filter on there. And I've seen other guys use heat the end of this line and everything, or maybe put soap on it, anything like that, but heating it makes it really mushy, and then it just wants to fold all up. I'm not that big of a fan of that. It does work though, so whatever you want to do. Now I'm just trying to get it on there far enough to get over the barb on the line. which is proving to be more difficult than I had anticipated. What it is going on. Alright. Okay. You can see that right there, it's over the barb. Looks pretty good. Now I want this fuel filter to be able to make it pretty much all the way to this back corner, so then if I'm weed whacking with the weed whacker at that angle, all the gas is over here, it'll still pick up fuel. This is a weighted, you can see it's weighted here on the end, it's a weighted fuel filter, so if you're weed whacking at this angle and all the gas is on this side, this will drop down into the fuel, so it'll go either way. That's one reason you do need a fuel filter on the end, because if the hose is just in here and you start to get low and you're weed whacking like this and the hose is all the way over here with no weighted fuel filter, the hose won't come back down to the fuel and it'll just die. So I'm going to push this, well actually I want to pull this out a little bit. Should just about make it. Well, I'm sure it'll make it once I have it down in here, but I can see where it falls, and it's all the way down in there. I'm just going to pull it up a hair, so it's just right off the bottom. Let's see where it's at, all the way at the back there, and then if I go this way, it slides down. I don't know if you can see it slid down to where fuel will be on this side. So that is good. I'm happy with it where it's at. And the same thing with this line. Like I said, I don't have the weed whacker here, so I'm just going to leave an ample amount of this hose. And that's it for replacing the fuel line there. I have the two fuel lines ready to go, and the cap is now repaired. So tomorrow when I get home, I'll put this back on the weed whacker and we'll get it started. Thanks. Okay, I'm back. I got the fuel tank all hooked up. I have the smaller of the two. Fuel hose is already put on, and I'm putting the larger one on. The larger one goes to the fuel pump. I got some gas here. I'm going to fuel it up and we'll see if it runs. Almost. Yeah, it's gas up in there. I use non-ethanol fuel. I bought at the local marina for small engines now, just because there's so many. I've never actually had a problem, but there's a lot of people that say that it causes problems, so I'd rather just avoid it. I'm priming the carburetor, baby.
Dad, now you have to go inside the
I gotta start this weed whacking a little bit. Okay. watching this video. Please comment. Like the video, subscribe if it helped you. Thanks.